if they pay big money, the companies for quality. Because they'll say nothing past this guy. This guy is number one.
Also, you are the gatekeeper. Nothing gets past you.
No, conventional degrees shouldn't hold us back, especially in testing. You don't have to hustle, go and look for work, interview. You are placed, you are in a team, you start rolling. I realized, well, no, there's quality assurance. How did it pass quality assurance?
You don't always start where you want to be, but you have to take something while you're working towards that goal.
You do a report. The report will show us the coverage, what passed, what failed. Currently with AI, you write scripts with human readable language. And black box, now you give something, that thing you don't know the inside what is in. We call it encapsulation if you did computer science.
Yeah.
You know what?
Welcome everybody to another episode of 360 Careers. Today I have a very special guest because we're going to be talking about a career that most people actually don't know about. We're going to be talking all about test engineering and automation testing. And our guest today is Olebogeng Kolwane, who's a test engineer, an automation test engineer. Now you guys know that here at 360 Careers, we bring different professionals from different industries and different career paths so that we can educate South Africans about the different careers and more importantly, what they can do to get into these careers. Olebogeng, welcome to 360 Careers, mate.
No, thank you for having me, Alec. And I'd like to say hi to your viewers and greet the viewers watching from home all over the country in South Africa and Africa's the diaspora and the world as well.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. So just a bit about Olebogeng. So Olebogeng has, done his degree before he started his career. So he did a BSc in Computer Science and Electronics and did a BSc Honors in Computer Science. And then did an MSc, Master of Science in Computer Science. And then you started your career as an IT technician and then moved into a test engineer as a junior test engineer. And then you moved to iOS developer.
Yes.
And then you became a database lecturer. We'll talk more about that one. But then you came back again, continued as a test analyst, automation test analyst, a specialist QA engineer, and now a quality assurance automation test engineer. This is quite an interesting career, but mostly focused around test engineer. So tell us a bit about yourself, man. How did you start this journey as a test engineer? What inspired it? How did you start? What made you choose this path?
Oh, initially, my mind was set up on becoming a lecturer. It was back when I was doing my master's, I think second year, when I spoke to my then lecturer. So you know what, let me see what they are doing in the corporate side of things. Let me go and gain experience. Then my supervisor said, no, you're already done. This is your second year. Okay, yeah. Because with my lecture, you needed to clock like work. You needed to be at the labs by 9. It was my 9 to 5, even in the evenings, because research sometimes when the school is light, the noise is a little bit low. Then we come to the computer science and come and read articles and the likes like that when the noise is a little bit down. But the postgraduate and the undergraduate labs were divided. So our postgraduate labs were different, low noise and all that, all concentration. Then we agreed, my mother back then, even now is still working at Public Works. So at Public Works, then I applied. She told me that there are vacancies looking for internships. Then I applied. Luckily, they interviewed me, I got in. Then when I got in, I was fixing computers, your motherboards, PC, and all that. It's where it started, the love of computers and everything. But back then when I was still doing my junior's degree, for me to fall in love with computer science, I grew up without a computer.
Yeah, so where did you grow up?
I grew up in the Northwest Province in Mafikeng. Yes. All the years I've wanted a PC, a laptop. Back then they were using computers. Yeah. Only what we call them, the people who are well off, in my language, we call them cheese boys, chills girls. They used to have laptops and all that. So I was
Yeah.
fascinated about this small machine. Or wow, this, and there were programmings and all other things. But fortunately, I didn't have. But at school, high school, at least I got an opportunity to interact with a computer. Then I liked it. Initially, when my first test writing a computer science test, it was CAT. Back at high school, I got 100 out of 100. Then I realized, you know what, it's where the passion came off. And again, back opposite my street, there was a guy, we called him Soli. He used to work as an IT technician fixing computers. And the way he would come after work, say, no, we'll fix these computers, the joy in his face, that's where I fall in love with computers. And you know, if you don't see something every day, you are eager, what is this thing?
You wanna
And my
learn.
love came from there. Then also problem solving problems through software. Then I was fascinated. Wow, you can actually do this. There's no need for people to queue for hours. You can actually build a system that does that, and people can do it at their convenient places. So it's where I fall in love with computer. But back to the question, I applied at the Department of Public Works. I got in, started working. Me and my lecturer had to reschedule. I had to come at the computer labs or do my research in the evening. Yeah, it was quite challenging because I was working 9 to 5. Came back, I was still staying at residence at the Northwest University, came to residence, relaxed for a bit, made dinner for myself and lunch for tomorrow. And after then took a shower, then went back to the lab.
So tell me, when you started, you did mention that your target was actually to become a lecturer.
Yes.
So when you started computer science, though you had this passion and love for computers from Soli, you know, the guy from your street, and then that's what led you to studying computer science, right?
Yes.
What made you change between, because you went all the way to masters, what made you change when you got to masters that you actually don't want to become a lecturer anymore? Now you want a career in test automation or as a quality assurance engineer. Did you know about that role, or how did you find out about it?
Oh, I have known about several roles. I never at the time had a mentor, unfortunately, but I encourage most of the people that are watching to get a mentor. Yes, at the time I really relied on research. I researched a lot. We were still using Google or Google Scholar at the time. I would
Yeah.
research different positions in IT, what's the scope, what's happening. So that was my life, just to be in the internet most of the time. So when I got interest, you know, when you are entering corporate, these are the positions. There was IT. After IT, I saw software testing. I saw software development. And at school at the time, there were hot topics, development especially around those 2016, 2015. Everyone in IT wanted to be a developer. Writing code was the cool thing. Yes, but my transition from lecturing to engineering, testing engineering. It's most I like to say this funny joke that money contributed because money runs everything, but it's not totally the base of it. That touching computers, being able to fix computer never left me. I said, what can I contribute in this academia of computer science and all that? Then I said, nah, let me go into this niche market of testing of every application, because I've seen people struggle, even at Home Affairs, that the system come tomorrow. Then that all, most of the time bothered me as an IT person, because my mother will look at me, or the systems are down, what do they
Were
mean?
you curious about like what causes that?
Yes.
Why are people not fixing it?
Yes, why are people not fixing it? And I realized, well, no, there's quality assurance. How did it pass quality assurance? So that people are experiencing this every time I go with my mother to the bank. Back in the day when banks, they'll say, no, the bank has jammed, the card is inside, you still have to call. Then I said, nah, how did it pass quality assurance? It's when now I fell in love with quality assurance. Then I said, no, my role here is to make applications of software better for
Yeah.
that quality of experience to everyone. Yes.
No, man.
Yeah.
No, that's really interesting. So when you started, because you started as an IT technician before you eventually moved to a junior test engineer, right? What were the challenges getting in?
Testing at the time, it was very challenging because a lot of people who after graduating it's an entry level position. So
Yeah.
with many entry level position, you find stiff competition. People who work stiff competition in the form of people who are already in the industry are also they are applying for the same roles, and people who are coming from good universities as well, and people who have been doing the work on the side. So it's a pool of people battling it out to acquire that position. So it was very difficult in that point. But I prayed about it. The person who believes, I prayed about it. And day in, day out, I used to study what is testing, fundamentals of testing. Yes. And
So this is while now doing the IT technician role.
yes, I was going over and above. And again, I was doing my research at the same time. Yes, planning for my future. Because what I did from an early age is just, I used to have medium to short and medium to long term goals. What do you want to become in the interim and later on? So I usually build that momentum. You know what? This field that I want. And always Google people who are doing software testing. I was back in the Northwest. Northwest, there's no testing. There's no one who I can really mentor me or look at. But eventually, Google was there. I used to go on internet, find people online. Or no, this is the actual stream. Yes.
It's very important because I actually get this from a few other guests that have come to the podcast, that you don't always start where you want to be, but because of the market in South Africa, that there's a lot of graduates, and especially that's the most tough time, but you have to take something while you're working towards that goal, you know, that you have of becoming a test engineer. And maybe for someone else it's something else, but it's very important that if you get something adjacent, take it, but still work towards your goal. Did you feel like, you know, even when you took that job, that, because it sounds like you're feeling like, you know, you still aspire to become this and you still worked towards it?
Yeah, while I was still fixing computers, I said, nah, there's better things to do. Even IT technician, it's a great thing because everywhere in health, in other departments, in agriculture, IT is everywhere. Even IT, the desktop support, there are people that are required. Every sphere, every sector. So I said, but me, I want to go into testing. How do I build that momentum and all that? So when I put my extra work, you know what, let me study towards this thing. Even when I was doing my first testing interview, they were really impressed. They were asking me other questions. I went over and beyond answering the question. This is what building that profile. Because it starts with you building a profile and growing and growing. And at work at the time when I was an IT technician, I used to come to work. Do you know this? Do you know there are developers? Change people's minds, let people think broadly. Yes.
Yeah.
And they used to call me an academic at the time because I was studying. But no, we trust you. You come and equip us with, because that government at the time, not basically it was old people, but people who like to call me in, they were old people. What's happening with the study life? What can I do to improve and all that? Yeah, so I used research to my leverage at the time because Peanut at the time was there, but was not like now as big as it is. And recruitment platforms or portals were not as big as now.
Yeah.
I needed to educate people. No, there are recruiting platforms that you can register, plug your CVs there. Those CVs, you remember, that had a picture.
Oh, yeah. No, man, that's great. Actually, I like the fact that you didn't just sit and kept on applying for, but as you were applying for these test engineering roles, you were still like researching and learning and actually practicing some of these things. And then when you got the interview, like you said, you already had like a profile, you could share some of the projects that you were doing, because that's very important, you know, because a lot of people, they sit and then, you know, they apply for jobs, but they don't do anything active to get into that. So now, how can you advise someone who's, maybe they want to pivot, right, into test engineering, or they are just a graduate and they're interested in what you just shared and they really want to be a test engineer, how would you advise them to approach that job search?
Learning, I call it a compound interest. Never stop learning. And currently, because of finances, financial difficulties and all that, after finishing your matric, if you don't qualify or you don't have the funds to get into your postgraduate, your universities, your colleges, then currently now there are boot camps. Try and apply to those hackathons or on yourself. Go to your local internet cafe. Even libraries now in the local communities have internet. Go there, make your own research. Testing currently doesn't require conventional degree. Even people who are doing testing now only have certificates. Others, other fresh ones from internships, they just have their matric. And after doing these courses online, researching and all that, then they get internships. Within that stipend that they get or they pay, then they now go and do certificates currently. Conventional certificates is not really needed. When you are once in, then you can get for compliance with the big corporates and all that, because your minimum requirements is your degrees and all that. Yes, you get your degree and yeah. But if you feel short, you can ask me on LinkedIn. I'll share the details with me. You can follow ELEC. There are different houses offering, even CETA as well. Our government is offering for people who have who not graduated but who have matriculated opportunities, so that they are not left out, because unemployment is affecting everyone. So from that pool, CETA is there to absorb a few people, and as we are there to mentor other people. Yeah, your certificates, they are not as expensive as you think. They are really cheap. You can start with a fundamental certificate, then do your research, go to the internet, have mentors, and move away from social media. Just have a focus time and all that.
Wow, man. Actually, you know what? I want us to cover this, extensively after this. But I want us to just give clarity, because I think this is very, very important, right? Just to make people understand, and give people a bit of context about what is a test engineer, right? Because I've learned that there's test engineers that are manual testers, but there's also automation test engineers. What is a test engineer, and what is the difference between someone who's a manual tester and someone who's an automation tester? Let's start with what is a test engineer, just in general.
Oh, a test engineer is someone who writes tests. They can either be manual for an application. Let me say I'm Mike Zuckerberg. I'm building Facebook. As a tester, is just to check if Facebook does what it's supposed to do. Like, for example, let me say an ATM. An ATM, I put in my card, I want my money. Does the ATM do that? If the ATM does that, then my test pass. But to start as manual, everything starts from manual. Even automation testers, we do, everything has to start from manual. It's manual automation. Manual automation is when you write your test automations. Like, for example, if it's Facebook, the loading page is where you enter the details, your username and password. You test with different algorithms. Test data. You test with positive test data, and there's other step where we call a negative test data. You are impersonating someone, exactly. Then you get and you check, can I log in? Can I log in with a different account that's not registered? Yeah, you write those down as those will be your test cases. Yes, and they form what we call into a test plan. Every organization have their test strategy. Organizations have a test strategy. From a test strategy, there's a test plan. How are we going to test a particular application like Facebook? There needs to be a plan. We don't just come in and test. Although when you are experienced, there's exploratory and experienced testing that you need to do. But at the beginning, we do what we call a test plan. There are level test plans, there are test plans. From the test plans, we have what we call test cases. within the development life cycle. Within the development cycle, nowadays with AI, things are simpler. You write your test cases. Maybe let me say I'm testing that front application. I'll have 4 or 5 applications of just logging into Facebook. Then those test applications, you do a report. The report will show us the coverage, what passed, what failed. That's manual. Then now you move into automation. Automation, there are different automating tools currently. There's Selenium, there's Cypress, there's Playwright. Currently, Playwright is the biggest. Where we go now, write scripts. Currently with AI, you write scripts with human readable language. In the past, we're writing them with C#. We're writing them
Also,
with
you had to
Java.
write actual code.
Yes, which we call scripting.
Yeah.
Yes. Then you write it so that it reads those test cases and you tell it from this, execute this. Then automation, because manually used to take about years and months or even days. But with automation, it takes a few minutes. And manual also, it's deep. We have functional, we have non-functional testing under manual testing. We have first our 3 blocks at the top. We have white testing, black box, then gray box. Now today I'll focus on the black box.
What do they mean, those 3 boxes?
Okay, white box is just your input and your output.
Okay.
It's straight, simple.
So you know that if the system has to take 1, 2, 3, and the system has to produce 1, 2, 3. That's white box.
Yes. And black box, now you give something, that thing you don't know the inside what is in. We call it encapsulation if you did computer science.
Yeah.
You don't know what's encapsulated there. You give it an input, it encapsulated, and there's an output.
But you don't know what's the expected output.
Then the expected output, you can predefine the expected, but you don't know because of this black box, what you don't. So within that black box, there's methodologies around testing where we call it, there's functional, there's the non-functional.
Okay.
Then the functional, there are principles, there are testing steps that you need to go through. Yes. You have your system testing, your integration testing, your unit testing, belonging to different teams within the software development cycle. Yes.
And then there's the gray box.
Yes, within the gray box, let me leave it for now because it encapsulates the 2, the white box and the black box.
Okay.
Just not to confuse the viewers and all that. Yes, mostly, but currently we focus on black box. Black box, after black box, there's a step below, we call it functional testing and non-functional. Functional has its own principles, non-functional. Non-functional is your stress testing. We test traffic and all those. Tests to do with networks and touching points within systems, how they communicate and all that. And we have, outside of that, we have what we call penetration testing, pen testing, where it's a simulated cyber attack to rather your network, your API, or application.
So different types of testings. You have functional testing, which is testing whether this software system or this application does what it's supposed to do. As a user, I want to click this button, I want to upload this, I want to transact, I want to make payment, I want to do this. It does all of those things. That's functional testing. And then there's non-functional testing, meaning that like you said, you're testing the network or you're testing the volume. If 100 people log into this thing, will it still work? If 1,000 people do the same thing at the same time, will it still work? That's load testing.
Load testing.
And then there's penetration. So penetration, you said it's about security.
Yes, it's more about your cyber attack, where there are people who have studied this course. Who you give them your application, the external pen test and internal. Let me talk about internal. Internal, as me, we have an organization. I'll come and say, as a pen, please text the vulnerability of my application. Then they hit it. They hack my system, check if non-users can enter, what happens to the network, all those things, and they give a report. this link can be intercepted, because mostly there are people who are intercepting, especially banks. If you are transacting your money, you want that whole transaction to be encapsulated. No one should be able to intercept. So there are people they are very important. That is why I'm saying testing is very important. It falls under QMS, quality management system. Quality is very essential. And it's a team sport, actually. Not only testers have to play it, different people within the engineering or computer science.
And I find that with a lot of corporate companies, especially with banks, they will normally have specialized testers as well, where you'll have pen testers, which is a different department that focuses just on security. Yes. And all that they try to do is every time you build an application, they will try to hack it, they will try to penetrate it, and then give us a report to say that, hey, we can do 1, 2, 3, we'll fix 1, 2, 3, fix 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
And then there's functional testers and load testers that will just test the applications.
Yes. And the trust. So we are different, we are placed there differently. So we do our work just to test quality.
Yeah.
That is why now when you go to WhatsApp, it's done fast. You send your message, I've sent you a message, you didn't receive it. If you didn't
so
receive
someone
it,
tested that.
Data. Yes, we actually test. But currently with T-shaped, there's other layer again where we call it T-shaped, where people now, we are moving, because when I started in a team, we used to have in one team we'll have 3 or 5 testers. But currently now you can have, because of automation, 1 tester. Or even an engineer, being a developer, can wear different hats at different intervals of the development cycle. Can start off, they are doing it at big companies. It's one thing that I want to educate the graduates to look at. Follow the Silicon Valley. We have the old Silicon Valley in America. The new one is in India. Follow, if you're an IT guy, you have to follow what's happening in India, what they are doing currently. That's very good. You need to follow those. So it's one individual, an engineer, wearing different. You are product owner, you are a business analyst, with just one individual. You develop your own code, you test, then you release to the customer.
Yes. Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard of that one. So tell me, in the beginning we spoke about a manual tester and an automation tester, right? No. My understanding with those 2 differences is that as a manual tester, you literally, you sit and then you click buttons. You make sure that this system works. And then you produce a report to say that I did 1, 2, 3, I did 1, 2, 3. And then here's a report. This is working. This is not working. As an automation tester, you write code that simulates all of that. It can also do a transaction, log in, log out, but you are writing code. But what I've learned is that the benefit of an automation test is that, because if it's a software, you keep on adding more features.
Yes.
But with an automation test, you can repeat the test. It can repeat itself. In case someone breaks a test that was working, maybe they add a new feature and then it breaks. An automation, you build it once, and then you can just keep on adding more tests. But if it's manual, you have to repeat all those steps again manually. Is that a correct analogy of, or explanation of those 2?
Yes. That is why currently under digital and tech, we want everything now to be automated. That's the edge currently, to automate, so that you don't go and read. Like a logging in page. Imagine, let me go to my analogy, my example. Logging in page.
Yeah.
Maybe you are sending a friend request. You have already logged in. You are sending a friend request. Then there's a break-in there. There's a problem there that you have to assign to a developer. Or you know what? This functionality doesn't work. The developer fixes that, passes it to you. Again, you have to do that manual progress. Test those 5 test cases again. Start from the logging in pages, time consuming. And with automation, we don't automate everything. We automate key features which you discuss with business. It's not a testing team. That is why in the software development cycle, someone who's wearing a testing head or quality head needs to be in these meetings. So in those meetings, they will decide this is a key feature, this is a key feature. Those are automated, like logging in a page. That's automated. So you go and click a button, it logs in, with different personas. You build what we call the current personas currently. We'll explain what are personas in a different episode. You log in with a persona, does the logging in up until where the developer has said, or I've fixed this. Then you check. You see that you did it within an hour. And it's a repeated work, but you did it just with automation. So automation, it's quite important right now. It's key. It's saving many businesses money and effort and all that. That is what's key.
Wow, man, thanks for that. That's really informative. So tell me now, as a test engineer, like how does your like your day to day look like? Like when you go to work every day, like who do you work with? Who do you interact with? Like where do you fit, in an organization as a test engineer? Like when you get to work every day, like how does your day look like?
My day is very simple when I work in. Currently, because we are in a digital era, everything is being automated. Like we don't send money the old way of, into an envelope. I'm sending money to my granny in the village, then go to the post area. No, you just use your bank e-wallet. There are different services according to your bank. Those are automated. They are automated. So you can't be doing those things, testing those things manually. You need to come in test automatically. Use automation. Like I said, there are different tools. But coming to your question, how I start my day. First, we started with a health check. In the morning when you come in, there's a report, because we are living in an era where there's continuous integration and continuous delivery. That's a reality, has been there for some time. Those that want to enter into tech, you need to look into that. There's DevOps, there's AWS. So we are into these pipelines. We are doing what we call pipelines. So you run pipelines that are triggered, like it's a system, you tell it, run it at this time. You are telling a system to run your test cases that are that you automated at this hour. Before I come into the office, before people use my application, log into Facebook, tell me is all the features that are key working. You don't want me when I'm trying to log into my Facebook, it's out of line, or I get a 401, what's wrong and all that. You want, gives you a report, or these features are working correctly. Before you can meet with your team, I get it online. Actually, I know if there's something, because quality, they pay big monies, the companies, for quality. You call your team, there's this feature, maybe the server is not working and all that. Those things need to come from a QA, because the operations are already running the automated and all that. So you give them a call, this is not working. Before people wake up, use my system. Anyone who's, we call production support, or who are on rota, to go and wake up that server so people can track processing, or using my Facebook if I have 360 careers Facebook portal.
Okay. So every day it starts with that. It starts with that, checking, doing those health checks, making sure that all the systems and applications that your team looks after, that they are in good health. Everything is running. All the features are running. There are no issues, right?
Yeah, no.
And then how does it look like from there?
Yes.
Because it can't just be that. You just you
Then
come in the morning like, hey,
yes.
everything is working,
No.
I'm done.
No. Even how systems are so smart, it gives you a report. You come into the office. We're doing currently, there are frameworks at work that we call Scrum, Agile. Those that are familiar with Agile, if you are at university after your post-secondary education, look at Agile. So what is used at the corporate level. Yes, we have what we call ceremonies. We do have stand-ups, where a technical team or development team doesn't mean only developers.
Yeah.
It means the testers, product owners, managers, people who are on that product, who take care of a particular function or a product. They come in, sit in a table, they discuss, what are you doing today? What have you done tomorrow? What are the actual, and quality is the key feature of that. Or this is what we have tested, this is what is not working, this is what is working. Sometimes you might say, if your application is stable, you are building a new feature, I'm doing the test case. Before automation, you need to do test cases. Now I'm doing test cases. There are manual test cases, there are automation test cases. If you're an automation guy, you'll be doing automation test cases. You write your automation cases, which need to be signed off. Because mostly when I was starting my career, testers, we used to be a scapegoat of everyone. If something is not working, they'll say, no, it's the testing team. Why didn't it? Because we capture everything. So you have to be on point, and attention to detail has to be on another level. Nothing passes. Everything that a tester, a QA signs off means that it can, today or after the sign off, goes to the consumer. So you need to be confident on that. So my day composes around that. If I'm not testing applications, I'm rather writing test cases and also research. Look at what are other countries using. Now with internet, the world is one thing. Look at other companies, what they're doing. People abroad, how are they doing? How are they improving testing? And like I'm telling you, continuous integration, continuous delivery. And no man is an island. In testing, you can't work alone. Pair with other testers, pair with other development teams at dev, because developers write code for a living. So if you pair with someone like that, you can say, no, you can improve your code doing this. Going to YouTube, I call it a university on its own. Every time I'm on a new course, how can I improve my testing and all that? So my work is populated by this thing, what I call quality. Yes, researching on quality, doing quality, and revisiting my old test cases, because I'm a brand myself as Olebogeng Kolwane. If I've written something, maybe a test, maybe 3 years ago, I've written a test script, I revisit it because technology is forever evolving and growing. So you go back. So there's no rest day for me. I don't say anything because it's my passion, it's within me, I love it. So I don't mind. Everything quality I fix. It's just that I can't fix quality of shades. It's just software specific.
Oh man, that's interesting. That's very interesting because if I were to summarize, like you work with a team, a team of software developers. There's software developers, there's business analysts, and every day you guys meet to see like what is the develop. So you come with your your report from your test cases as to like how is the health of the systems, everything is good. If there's issues, you raise them to say there's issue 1, 2, 3. But other than that, the rest of your day is you checking with developers, what have they built, you are testing, or you writing new test cases for something that they are building. So it's a continuous thing, making sure that everything that the team builds, there's quality, and you cover all the the loopholes and making sure that the software that this team builds, it goes to the consumer, it goes to the people that are using it in a good quality and with less issues.
And one thing that I forgot in terms of quality, within your team, you have to teach them how to integrate quality into their software. Quality or testing doesn't lie with the software tester at all. It starts from when you are doing your user stories, your features. You need to minimize there. Does this serve the purpose? And how you are writing it, acceptance criteria. We use what we call user stories and all that. You need to be there, check the quality. And the developers, they also do their unit testing. You have to also, as someone who knows testing, you have to be by their side. This is how we do testing. Quality testing, not there's testing, then there's quality testing. Doesn't lie. And you have to give, we call them town halls or knowledge sharing, where usually I'll come on PowerPoint, share with the team. These are the trending things in terms of how to make our software resistant to risk, to this and all that. And how can we implement it? It's not yes, I'm the head of that, but yes, I'm rolling out to the team. Now, currently with the quality of our applications, it shows because I'm not only sitting, I'm deleting what we call a key man dependency. If I'm sick, I have issues because we are human beings at the end of the day. My team, even my developer, or even you can step in, Lebo told me how to do quality, how to test, how to do this. So I'm sharing the knowledge with the team. So we are a strong team. We have formed and all that. So quality shouldn't only be with you, a tester. Currently, what I'm saying to testers, share the knowledge. show other people how to test. This is how we can improve the quality, not testing specifically, but how we can improve quality of our applications. And you'll see yourself within that organization growing.
That's very good, man. That's very good. So what are the skills? Like if I were to ask you to say that, Olebogeng, if you were to give me 3 or 4 skills that you think someone who's a test engineer needs to have, what would those skills be?
Number 1, it will be attention to details. Attention to detail. Your life should revolve around problem solving and especially critical thinking. Be a people's person, interact with people. Because other defects, someone will tell me, no, and like a developer will say, I'm finding issues with this. Rather than him saying, you go and find out. I'm struggling to do this, then I'll come. Okay, then with that knowledge, it's 2 birds with just one thing. Then 2 is better than 1 anyway. So those are the skills that you need to have. You need to have passion for QA, for quality. Yes, those are the skills that you need to have. Yeah.
That attention to detail is important when it comes to this role, right? Because, if you're not someone who pays attention to details, you can easily, roll out software, to consumers that's not, fit for purpose.
Yes. Because in my team, sometimes they call me a lawyer. Because they'll say nothing past this guy. This guy is not a lawyer.
Also, you are the gatekeeper. Nothing gets past you.
No. Because screenshots are my proof. When you are a lawyer, you have to prove a particular case beyond any reasonable doubt. You come with proof and exhibits and all that. So I come with screenshots.
Yeah.
Or you know what? We have tested this. These are the screenshots. This is, even now you can record whilst you are testing the goods about automation testing.
Nice.
When I'm still recording, it records. If you want, or you know what, we did a deployment. Our current deployment doesn't work. Have I tested it? If it wasn't tested, I can take out the archives. Or I've tested the previous one. They are timestamp. The date and time are there. Or I've tested this feature, it was working. Why is it not working? Then you cut costs. The team knows where to intersect. Or maybe here might be the problem. You take your previous archives and the current ones. Or here it was working previously, it was working, but in production it's not working. You invest. That's what we call when you want to find root cause. When we talk about root cause as technical people in our different teams, that's how we come together. Testing person needs to be the developers, archives. We resolve this thing and we check, maybe the problem is here. That's what I can advise people who want to enter this role. It's very important. It's very key. If you are passionate about quality, because everybody likes quality, even in their house. I'm using quality glasses. Quality is within everyone.
Yeah, quality clothes,
Yes.
and all of that.
Correct.
So, dude, tell me, everyone learns something, right? Because a career is a journey.
Yes.
And as you develop into this career, as you become a senior test engineer like yourself, you've definitely went through like some challenges. Like, what were some of the challenges that you went through? Because, the whole point is sharing that information. It just allows other people to be aware of what are the challenges in these, in this role. And more importantly, like, how do you deal with the challenges? How do you navigate these challenges?
Now, it comes with relating with the people you work with. Yeah, you know what? My challenges when I was starting, it's when something was working, I'll test it without keeping archives or proof that it was working at this time, timestamps and all that. I'll say, no, this thing is working. Then when in production or an end user is using it, there are faults, they'll come to me. This thing you have passed, I've just passed the test case, but there's no proof it was working. So you keep proof of things that are working and things that are not working. So in my computer, my archives, I even have an external drive.
Hey, that's why they call you the lawyer.
Yeah, that is why they call me the lawyer. And again, you need to have a consensus with your team. You know, quality because it's so important and all that. You need to say, people, I can't pass. People should know. I can't do favors. If something
So
is
you've
not
done that
working,
mistake before where you've
yes,
tested something and then you just told the team, yeah, I've tested it's working. And then there were
exactly.
issues later
There were
on.
issues and it ends up with me. And again, if you have close relationships, it's my friend is a dev, then I say, this thing is but you are passing it. There's no friendship here. Everything needs to go, has to have a right standard of quality. Are we friends? We are not friends. When it comes to quality, there has to be a minimum threshold. If it doesn't pass this, yes, with software currently, because of currently, because we are publishing software to go and all that, and we are using MVPs, you can allow us an application to go with minimal defects and all that. But yeah, as long as it's signed off the system, the team, they are in sync, and because there are other versions within testing, in another version or going forward, you are going to look closely into those issues. Yes.
Dude, one of the things that I always chat about with my guests is that we know that degrees are important, right? So they give you that foot in the door, they give you that foundation where you start. But based on our economy and based on how things are in South Africa, no one or not everyone is able to get a degree, because of different circumstances, right? If someone doesn't have a degree, or maybe they study something differently, because you do get a lot of people that maybe, they did a degree, a BA in something, or they did a degree where like they're struggling to find work. But also there's people that did these other degrees that work in different roles, but they feel like it's not the right fit for them. And, after watching this, they like, I didn't know something like this existed, and they really want to pursue test engineering as a career. How would you advise that person to start? Like, what can that person do to get into this field?
Yeah, as I've alluded earlier, that there are different houses. It's not only universities at this stage. There's YouTube. There are different house. I was also after my master's, after working as an IT technician, when I was introduced to testing. I did training for 6 months with an Indian-based company. They gave me a certificate with ISTQB. There's ISTQB, it's a house where they give different certificates for testing. You can start with your fundamentals, then there's test manager, there's AIs right now and all that. So those certificates are key. Conventional degrees shouldn't hold us back, especially in testing. Even in development, like there's vibe coding now. You don't need a degree to vibe code. There's AI that's there to assist. Because currently, let me tell you the truth. If you are not using AI is not going to replace us, but they are going to replace you with someone who uses AI to their advantage. So the plan now is for you to use AI to your own advantage. Because currently now you just write prompts. They are prompt engineer. You write a prompt, then your testing tool goes and writes code. You have your Copilot, you have different tools that you just write a prompt to. AI, there's ChatGPT, you write a prompt, design test cases for me. Even currently, youngsters are building businesses with only AI. So I wish I was born in this era. It's just unfortunate that we come in that.
But you are still in it, man. You are still in
Yeah,
it.
I'm still in it and I'm learning. In technology, just bear in mind, this is a field where you can't be, you don't need to be stagnant. We learn every day. Don't say that I have a degree, I don't have a degree, I don't have a chance. Someone who has a degree, you might be 10 years ahead of him because you went. Now there are hackathons, there are boot camps. There are so many organizations that are doing boot camps. Go align with those. It's a 6 months boot camp. Assign with those people. I'm telling you, by the end of that 6 months, you'll be a senior. And me, I'm coming with my degree, we are applying. And currently, what they want, it's proof at the workplace. Correct. Yes, you have done testing. What have you used testing? No, I was doing networking at school, computer science databases, the courses. That's what you did in your proof of degree. Me, I didn't have a chance to go to college or university. I have my matric certificate. I'm coming from a boot camp. On GitHub, there's a project that I've been testing for 6 months. Who are they going to take? Because I'm there, I'm ready to hit the ground running.
I always say that companies look for someone who's gonna solve the problems now.
Correct.
Like that someone has the skills to actually help us, because when you hire someone because as an organization, you have a problem and you need someone to come in to help you solve the problem that you have. You don't just hire someone because you have a problem. And especially what you're saying is very important, that the difference is that someone comes with, a certificate, which is theory, and someone else comes with, proof of their work. Like they've built up this GitHub profile, they have test cases, because some of them, they're not even real, but they've simulated a bank, they've simulated a Facebook, they've simulated a WhatsApp, and they're writing tests, and they actually have something practical to actually show in an interview and talk about in an interview.
Okay. Yeah, now currently with this boot camps, hackathons, universities, at least people have now followed this train of assisting universities, because universities don't have the capacity to handle every matriculant you have. Yeah, so there are boot camps, there's YouTube, my own university, I call it that. There are other houses here in Gauteng, where they are looking people, when you apply, you come this site. Then even while you are still doing training, the way it's so easy. That is why I wish I was born at this generation. For you doing training, they pay you a stipend. How lucky is that? I have my matric, I applied, they called me, I'm doing training on how to do testing, and they pay me. And after that, those houses place you in this big organization, banks, in mining. You don't have to hustle, go and look for work, interview. You are placed, you are in a team, you start rolling. Currently, honestly, I'm giving you the plug for you to do how to do testing. It's an entry level, it's very competitive. Don't take it lightly. Research, do things accordingly, get your certificate, do your hackathons, go to a boot camp. Yeah, conventional degrees, yes, you'll get them at some point. But if you don't, those that have degrees, you can take a gap year to go for these boot camps. Or whilst you are still doing your degrees, go for a boot camp and tell them, you know what, it will be part-time because I'm studying. Get that experience. Experience beats everything, because you simulate real world issues, because the employers want people who can solve their problems. That's it.
Period.
Not their liability. So use technology to your advantage. There's AI now.
Yeah. Dude, today, I hope that, this message, what you've just shared, your journey, it really inspired someone who's listening or who's watching out there, because I've personally also learned a lot. I work with a lot of you guys in these different careers, but I hardly get time to sit and, break down to the details of exactly what are some of these roles that you guys do and this was a very, very, very valuable conversation for me, so I've learned a lot. But before we close, man, is there anything else that you maybe like want to share with the viewers, or people that are interested in this, like any message that you want to share with someone who's listening or someone who's watching this?
My last thoughts, my encouragement to the viewers is that in whatever you're doing, despite its testing or any other field, put passion and give it your all. We are all in here to succeed. Help others who are still coming up. Let's mentor each other. Let's show each other the way. Let's do things rightly. Let's learn from each other. Let's hold each other. No man is an island, honestly. And let's gather and change South Africa, because I think South Africa, in terms of technology, we are in the right place, but we are a little bit stepping back. There's AI. Let's use AI to be in par with India, to be in par with the rest of the world. And my advice, the rest of the world, the people from Europe, because the rand is I don't want to use this, is cheap, so they want people who they can afford. So these companies outsource So currently we are the booming market as Africa, particularly South Africa. Here in South Africa, I have many friends of mine that are working for big companies in the United States, in Europe, in all that. So this is the advantage of you guys using technology to your disposal. Exactly, getting work, do something, practice, and show the world, improve your CVs. There are in the 360 careers, there are templates where you can do your CV correctly. Tap into that. There's different mentorship. Alec is always giving advice. Follow him on LinkedIn. There are opportunities. The world is opening to Africa. We now need to become the new Silicon Valley of the world, and we can do it through AI, assisting each other as South Africans.
That was very powerful, my brother. Thank you so much, Ole. One last thing that I just want to make you aware of, right?
Yes.
I make people commit on this channel.
Cool.
So I know that as part of this, there's going to be so many good questions and so many people that will want to learn about something that we spoke about. You know, people will have questions. So I'm going to make you commit now to say that at least, you know, the first few people that ask questions, you know, and these questions are directly, you know, related to test engineering and things like that. Can I get you to commit to at least answer some of the questions? Let's say the first 5 to 10 people that are asking questions, so that they can at least get that advice from you personally.
Personally, I'm up for the challenge, and on my personal level, I follow the 360 careers on a day-to-day basis on LinkedIn. Every time I like, because even me at the stage that I am, I'm a senior specialist in automation and testing. I do follow him, the tips that I get from there as well. And also I grab some from him and I pass it, because I'm a mentor. I mentor different individuals physically and online. So he's my archive that I usually take from and give to the rest of the world.
Olebogeng, thank you so much, my brother. I really appreciate the kind words. I really appreciate the support, and you know, so thank you, man. Thank you for being our guest, and thank you for sharing with the people, because I feel like you've really shared a lot of valuable information for people, and people are going to really learn a lot from this. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, sir.